Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to a session called Customer Insights Are Vital to Understand, Enhance, and Activate Successful Customer Experience. The session today will be interactive, so there will be certain places where I'm going to ask you to write some messages in the chat or ask questions. Now, you will not see each other's chat, I'm afraid, but if you'd like to post a chat message, you can send it to the organizers and I will see it and I will read them out loud as we go along. Now, the title itself doesn't leave much room for ambiguity about what the content is about today, or in fact, where do we as Mapp stand when it comes to this topic of customer insights and customer experience. However, regardless whether you guys have joined the session, because you're currently on a path of becoming an insight-led organization, or you're still trying to build a business case for an insight-led customer experience strategy, this is the webinar for you. At the end of it, we're aiming to arm you with some kind of actionable insights that you can take away to help design and build your own customer experience strategy. Some of the content in this webinar, or in fact, most of the content in this webinar, is based on a study that we commissioned from Forrester. And some of it has been my interpretations, and some of the content is directly taken from Forrester. So as we begin the presentation, let me just hide my camera to save the bandwidth, and let's go along. So the study is called Use Analytics and Insights to Accelerate Your Customer Experience Strategy, the prerequisites for enhanced personalization, targeting, and internal alignment. Now, brands are focused on improving digital customer experiences to grow revenue and increase profits. Now, however, many brands are still struggling to turn customer insights into experiences that deliver this mutual value exchange between the brand and the consumers. And it's the successful brands that are able to leverage customer insights to define their strategy and inform the technology investment decisions to deliver those experiences. And effectively what this study did, it surveyed over 200 senior marketing professionals across a variety of verticals in mid-market and enterprise to understand how they currently go about kind of gathering and analyzing customer insights to improve and streamline the customer experience as this kind of a core foundation for their business growth. Now, those of you that haven't had a chance to download this study yet, do not worry. We will be sharing a link to the study at the end of this presentation as well, so you can do it. So you can look at it then. Now, first of all, let's have a look at the trends that are shaping the customer experience in 2021. Undoubtedly, historians will refer to this time as pre and post lockdown, and same applies to marketing and digital customer experiences. Now, we know that there are way more digitally kind of enabled consumers, and e-commerce has grown 27% in 2020, which is about 5% more than what was originally anticipated. And this has been fueled through the fact that consumers had to find a way of leveraging those technologies to maintain relationships with the brand. And this will mean that marketers had to accelerate their kind of a digital advancement and adoption of some of the newer digital channels and find new ways to communicate to customers. Also, the cookie jar is closing. Now, many of you know this already, that from 2022, the third-party cookie will be kind of retired in many ways. And that means that we as marketers will have to start relying more on the first-party data to extract insights about customer behavior. This means that CRM marketers, CRM marketing professionals will be in high demand in their organizations, not only in the marketing team, but throughout organizations to help provide kind of those insights. But also the pressure to deliver more with the current first-party data that they currently hold will increase as well. Also, there is this enhanced focus on customer experience through delivering value. And this means that, in fact, by looking at this study, we've also found that not only marketers are now relying more on customer experience, they're also realizing that actually these customer experience initiatives may no longer require to prove an ROI to deliver them. It's just something that they have to do. And this will highlight the gaps in talent that has this understanding of who the customers are and how they behave. One of the first questions we asked in a study, or Forrester asked in a study, was how important is a good customer experience strategy to the overall success of the business? And 59% of respondents said that successful customer experience is either very important or important. However, at the same time, almost half of the respondents said that they only reevaluate their customers' experience strategy either once a year or even less frequently. So this means that brands that want to become customer-centric and customer-focused still have a long way to go in terms of bringing the rest of the organization together on a single strategy to deliver these experiences. And in many ways, this improved customer insights, can be this gateway for providing this transformation. And without the strategy, it's quite hard to achieve. Now, in the subsequent slides, I'll be exploring what is the meaning of exceptional customer experiences and what the study respondents have highlighted as the key reasons that hold them back from delivering better customer experience. Now, we've reached the first part of the interactive session, and I will encourage you to open your chat panel and send a message to the organizers that I'll be able to see. But let me ask this question now. If we forget marketing just for a second, what experiences do you as a human being look forward to the most when this lockdown ends entirely? So just feel free to type in the chat and I'll read a couple of them out loud. Yeah, I can see travel, quite a few of you saying travel. Pub, seeing friends, bars, yeah, all very valid. Although you can already meet friends in a bars outside. Okay, so we can see a common theme here. Being free to whatever I want to do, yeah. International travel, yeah, for sure, Anna, I agree. Okay, so we can see a common theme here. Now, let me share you my experience. Live sports events, gatherings. Okay, so many still coming through. So thank you very much for sharing those, and I know they're personal to you guys. So let me share you my story. So what I miss the most is the live music events. So there's this place in London called Piano Works. I don't know if any of you have been. I'm sure some of you have already. But it looks like just like any other pub in central London, but in the middle of the bar, they have a stage. And at about 7 p.m. every evening, a piano solo starts. And then after about half an hour, they're joined by a saxophone. Another half an hour later, maybe the drums. And after about a couple of hours, you have the full band kind of playing music or playing any music that has been requested by the audience members that they have scribbled down on a piece of napkin. And to me, that is the core definition of an experience. It's not something that you just kind of do, it's something that you feel. And in many ways, if you think about kind of marketing experiences, it's not that much different, to those experiences, to your experiences that you shared and some of my experiences. It's almost a combination of interactions and events that lead to the overall satisfaction for the effort and possibly cost that a consumer has contributed towards the product or a service. And in many ways, in value terms for the brand, all of those things result in increased profit. And that is done through growing faster than competitors. It's also making sure that you remain at the top of the consumer minds next time they're looking to make a purchase in the category in which you sell your services or products. But also, you're able to predict the customer behavior a lot better. And in some cases, perhaps even before they start their kind of a purchase journey. And often when I speak to marketers about their challenges, they often say things like, we would like to improve our personalization, our segmentation, maybe automation. However, those things are just subsets of the overall customer experience strategy. The overall customer experience is a combination of kind of the e-commerce, the earned media, paid media, and analytics to kind of to develop this kind of orchestration and develop this feeling for customers of what it is that they're trying to do. However, unfortunately, in many ways, those kind of separations exist between those individual channels or between those different teams within marketing organizations. And if you bring this back to the kind of a music analogy, you just know that you can't deliver a great experience unless the band doesn't know who the audience is, or the different band members are unable to hear each other, or even worse, when the band, all different members of the band are actually playing different music. It will still be an kind of interesting experience, but probably for whole different reasons than what it was initially intended. Now, when we asked marketers around what is the #1 challenge in providing the best customer experience, and the answer was it was the lack of customer insights. And it makes perfect sense, because if you think about it, unless you really understand who the customer is, unless you have the customer insights, you are unable to deliver better personalization, better segmentation, or better automation. I mean, you can deliver better automation, but you will be probably automating not entirely the right things, not the things that you should be automating to start with. So let's dig deeper a little bit, and let's have a look at what are the reasons that or what are the things that are holding marketers back from delivering better customer insights. And surprisingly, most study respondents agreed on a primary thing that is holding them back from delivering better customer insight strategy. Now, again, I'm going to ask you to type your response in a question section, and let's see what we have. So the question is, what do you think is the primary challenge in delivering better customer experience strategy based on the respondents? Data, expertise, personalization from Francesco. Let's wait for a couple more, and then I'll reveal the answer. Technology and resources to analyze it, Anna. Fear of creating extra work. Wow, okay, that's an interesting one. Concern of failure, technology. Yeah, I think they're all very valid reasons, and there is no right or wrong answer, because in your individual organizations that might be appropriate. But I guess here the question is, what did the majority of the respondents said? Okay, so let me just stop looking at this. So surprisingly, the primary challenge in delivering better customer experience insight strategy is lack of skilled talent. And I think one of you have highlighted that I think talent is one of the issues. For me, it was actually quite surprising. Now, before you start maybe panicking and writing your resumes in terms of, wow, my senior marketers or senior decision makers are not trusting my talent, I will explore some of the reasoning behind this. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of the other challenges that have been highlighted by the study respondents. So data silos, and a number of you have mentioned data, and you know what, I probably, if I had to guess, I probably would have picked data as well, but data silos only came second at 55%. So lack of skilled personnel was the primary barrier that was holding kind of our marketers back from delivering better customer experience strategy. I'm just gonna leave these on a slide for now so you guys can read the other ones. Okay, now that said, so whilst 57% said that lack of skilled talent was holding them back, we at the same time, when we asked marketers kind of what improvements have delivered the least success over the last 2 years, improved talent also came at the top, followed by reevaluating agency relationships, followed by enhanced focus on content, right? So it's quite interesting. So on one hand, they're saying that talent is holding them back. On the other hand, brands that have done it successfully, they're saying that improving talent hasn't actually delivered the results that they expected. And the way that Forrester and ourselves at Mapp have interpreted this is that, you know, no matter how talented your talent is, unless they have the right technology to help them extract those insights and kind of and turn those insights into actions consistently, you will not be able to succeed. And this is actually kind of almost confirmed by the second question that was asked. So what customer experience improvements have delivered the most success over the last 2 years? And it was actually the enhancing customer insights within the teams that has delivered the most value. Now, let me read a quote from Forrester just to kind of to really focus on this topic. And I think this explains it really, really well. Increasing headcount will not solve your problem without the requisite technology investments to help employees address changing customer needs. Hiring new talent, creating fresh content, and enlisting external agencies will always provide some value, but success will be limited without the right tools for insights-driven change, right? And this is exactly what we're talking about earlier. Okay, so we understand the concept, but let's try to unpick this even further and understand, well, how will that actually improve our day-to-day? How will that help us improve revenue and all these other things that we typically talk about in marketing? Now, we're going to look at this through the lens of an e-commerce journey, but this is just as easily translates to any other vertical. It's just the e-commerce journey kind of translates quite well to other verticals. If you think about a typical e-commerce journey, there's so many different steps, all the way from discovery, from acquisition, to visiting a product, to making the purchase, and then re-engaging a customer. There's so many opportunities to improve marketing, but at the same time, there's so many opportunities to get things terribly wrong. And what makes matters worse is that so many of these marketing decisions are done based on gut feel or averages. Things like the average add to cart rate, or the average conversion rate, or the average time to re-engage a disengaged customer. And what we strongly believe at Mapp is that marketing based on these averages creates average results. What we also believe is that it's the marketing professionals actually implementing those campaigns, implementing those programs. Those are the people that should have access to those actionable insights to understand how the customer behavior is changing over time. Now, let's explore the size of the opportunity, and let's have a look at kind of what did these respondents said about the benefits that they experienced or they expected to experience from updating the customer experience strategy. Now, 64% said that updating their customer experience strategy has improved the process for gathering valuable customer insights and metrics. And the way I interpret this is that this process for actually kind of developing the customer experience strategy internally and discussing it with various stakeholders actually results in agreeing on what are the key metrics that matter in terms of improving the customer experience. 60% have said that helped improve the customer segmentation and targeting. Now, this also validates what I was saying earlier, that without better customer understanding, it is impossible to deliver better customer personalization, customer segmentation, as well as automation. And 59% said that it helped increase the executive support for your department. And I would like to pause on this one, because it's the first time where we're actually looking at some of the internal challenges rather than some of the external challenges. Because if you think about it, all of these kind of a customer experience initiatives, they live and die by the executive support. And if you don't have a customer experience strategy that's up to date and that is in tune with these ever-changing customer needs, you're probably unlikely to get this executive support from the leadership team. What I was surprised here is to see that increased customer satisfaction and increased growth in revenue were the kind of a fourth and fifth options that respondents have selected. But then again, when I thought about it, I realized that, because if you think about it, I kind of assumed that the whole idea behind improving customer experience strategy will be customer satisfaction and it will be the growth in revenue. But the more I thought about it, I realized that actually marketers realize that those things will follow if you have customer insights to start with. Unless you have the customer insights, and unless you're then able to use those insights to improve the personalization, you're able to improve the targeting and use the customer experience strategy to get the executive support from your leadership team. You will not be able to deliver those other things like customer satisfaction and increase in revenue. Now, let's have a look at some of the negative impacts. And again, I'm going to ask you to type your responses in a chat. Now here, I would like you to guess the number one response. What do you think was the negative business impact that brands have experienced as a result of these challenges in updating the customer experience strategy? So again, just pick one and you can write the letter in the chat rather than writing the whole response. I'm going to give you 10 seconds just to read them out. If you guys can just type the letter of the response that you think is the right one. Okay, I can see a couple of decrease in executive support, less time to innovate, slower time to market. Adam, yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, I can now reveal that those of you that have selected F, continued lack of support for our organization, were correct. And again, this goes back to these internal challenges that, if you don't have a customer experience strategy, it is very hard to get kind of a support throughout the organization. And followed by loss of revenue, and followed by less time to innovate. So far, we have discussed the kind of what is an exceptional customer experience. We also explored what works and what doesn't work when it comes to delivering results. What we haven't touched on yet is the technology that underpins these successful customer experiences. And here's another quote from Forrester. Aligned technology and people-based investments, hiring data scientists or training tech-savvy marketers will not deliver results without the right tool sets. They will waste their valuable time wrangling data instead of producing insights. Conversely, technology investments will fall flat without the appropriate user adoption. And this was one of the quotes from one of the key recommendations that Forrester finished the study on. Now, when we ask marketers specifically about what technology investments have contributed the most in terms of improving the understanding and the customer needs, customer analytics, customer data management, and marketing automation came at the top. And I believe this is because the successful brands are now looking beyond these traditional kind of impression and campaign metrics to focus on how they engage effectively with their customers using advanced segmentation and personalization. And kind of and robust customer insights to improve analysis and guide decision making underpin a brand's ability to understand and meet the needs of individual customers in the way that it resonates. Now, before we go into kind of Q&A, and before I share you some of the kind of actionable and items and additional content that you guys can use to develop your insight-led customer experience strategies in your organizations, I would like to share kind of what is MapCloud is all about and what is it that we do. At core, MapCloud insight-led customer experience platform is a combination of customer analytics, customer data management, marketing automation, marketing performance management, and experience delivery. In other words, it kind of allows you kind of if we revert back to the previous slide I shared at the beginning when we talked about customer experience, it allows you to break down the silos between the e-commerce, the earned media, paid media, analytics, so they can do better things like segmentation, personalization, and customer data management. And if you look back, if you think back about the music scenario, you know, it ensures that the entire marketing orchestra is playing the same music rather than just delivering noise across these different channels. And in terms of what is possible then, you're then able to leverage these customer insights to facilitate this discussion between the senior management and other teams in the organization to align on the same set of KPIs and dashboards based on the metrics that matter the most. You can do things like marketing attribution beyond the last click and actually understand what has individual channel has contributed towards those conversions. Or look at the data through the lens of products, not only to understand how well are individual products performing, but also overlapping this with individual customer personas to understand, you know, what types of products advertised via Google Shopping or via AdWords are kind of delivering a certain type of customer over the customers that you get via social media or via above the line advertising. And then also looking at segment insights. So going beyond looking at averages, understanding the average customer behavior, looking at the behavior of each individual customer segments, and then using those insights to activate this data for paid media optimization or marketing automation, deploying these typical e-commerce tactics like price drop, back in stock, or even nurturing customers via CRM channels, but also preventing churn in those various customers. Next, I wanted to look at a case study of a customer that got the customer insights approach right. The Entertainer is UK's largest independent high street toy retailer, operating across more than 170 stores in the UK and in Europe. They went through a significant change after they acquired the Early Learning Center, and they were trying to increase their marketing automation at scale with the limited team that they had. And very quickly, they dismissed enterprise marketing cloud providers because they were looking for something that's easy to use, but also a vendor that's easy to work with. And right now, they kind of leverage MapCloud to facilitate over 300 million channel interactions with customers per quarter across more than 5 channels. And they generate about 600 million customer events that then they able to turn into actionable insights. And this approach has led them to kind of a significant increase in revenue. In the email revenue alone, they have grown 100% year on year. And also, they were able to deliver 24 months worth of forecasted ROI just in under 6 months. And some of you might be wondering, okay, but if you're skeptical, you might be wondering, okay, but what is the kind of what is the secret here, right? There must be something here, and there was. You know, those two improvements in the middle, like increasing the customer identification by 1,200% and accurately predicting which customers will shop during Black Friday, were actually delivered by Mapp's customer success team, because we realize there's just so many different improvements that you can do, and there's quite a lot to comprehend, and there's quite a lot to kind of to get the hang of, and therefore kind of a MapCloud's customer success team acts as an extension of Entertainer's team and always provides these actionable insights and improvements. Now, at the beginning, I promised to share some of the takeaways that you guys can use in your organizations to deliver and create a customer insight-led customer experience strategy. If you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to go on the landing page that we will share in the chat, where I had interviews with senior marketing executives from across Europe, where we discussed this exact study. So in case you're curious of what other marketers think about these topics. Also, on the same page, you will find an interactive dashboard where you can slice and dice the results and responses of that study, in case you want to kind of zoom in on a particular vertical or on a particular kind of a company size that is more appropriate to help you build your customer experience strategy. And there's also some additional kind of takeaways that I would encourage you guys to take advantage of. So as I promised in the beginning, we will send you a follow-up email, and I think we'll put a link in the chat with the link to the study to download if you haven't done so yet. I also encourage you to use our free strategy planner that we have recently relaunched. It's improve your marketing. In there, you will find over 100 marketing improvement tactics that were contributed by ourselves, by our partners, and also by other senior marketers. You can then shortlist those tactics and create your own kind of a plan of activities of the things that you want to improve, as well as you can then design your own kind of a strategy blueprint that you can share with your team. And currently, the blueprint has templates for e-commerce, multi-channel retail, and direct-to-consumer, and we'll be adding more blueprints soon. If you're in the process of building a business case for your insight-led customer experience strategy, I also encourage you to use our kind of ROI builder for becoming insight-led. And you can see the link on a slide right here. There is an additional resource that I highly encourage you guys to read it if you have read the Forrester study, and it's called From Gut Feel to Actionable Insights. And it contains kind of a real practical use cases of how better customer insights can help you grow your revenue and grow your customer acquisition, and also has some examples of things that you could be doing to improve your customer insights in your organization. And I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to open up the question panel, see if you guys have any questions. Just feel free, guys, to type the question in either chat to me or in the question section. Okay, so there's a question from Lawrence, and it says, "Okay, Rick, this all sounds great, but where do we begin if the C-level executives haven't, if the C-level executives haven't quite kind of bought into the inside-led approach?" I think in order for you to build the inside-led customer experience strategy, you have to kind of begin with capturing those customer insights, and you have to start learning about your customer behavior, because as I mentioned at the beginning, there's so many assumptions that we make in marketing about the way that customers behave, and in terms of what our ideal customer segment should be for retargeting. And I would say, in order to build kind of a business case, you kind of want to start with capturing those insights. And what we have done at Mapp is we've realized that actually, rather than taking marketers and organizations on these kind of a exploratory journey in understanding what metrics matter and don't matter, we actually developed industry-specific solutions that you can kind of deploy on your kind of a web and app properties, and then immediately you get the best practice insights and KPIs that are relevant for your vertical and for your industry. And then over time, you can start kind of adjusting them. But a good question. How does experimentation play a role? Sorry, how does experimentation play a role in your process? So thanks, Michael. So it's really kind of an extension of what I was saying earlier, that, you know, in the past, we used to do a lot of these projects where we embark on this 6-month exercise, you know, to understand what metrics matter and don't matter. And we realized that actually majority of brands kind of end up in the same, with the same set of insights or very similar sets of insights. So instead of kind of going through this process each time, we kind of provide you the best practice kind of dashboards and insights for your vertical. And then as you start using them, you start learning, you know, what insights actually matter to you, to your business. And then obviously we also discuss kind of what are the immediate opportunities that you want to focus on, because for some brands, there's more focus on acquisition. For other brands, there's more focus on kind of on customer retention. And then based on that, we kind of will learn and adjust on what to focus on next. But a good question. Any other questions? Guys, feel free to type them in the chat or in the question section. Okay, well, if there are no other questions, You guys know how to find us. So for those of you that joined the webinar via LinkedIn, so feel free to post me a message or a question on LinkedIn. If not, we'll be following up with some of the content that we shared during this webinar. But I would like to thank all of you for taking time to participate, and more importantly, I would like to thank all of you for actually taking part in the interactive session, because that made it so much more fun. Thank you very much, and good luck with your insight-led customer experience strategy development.